Hey everybody, welcome. My voice just cracked for some reason. Hey everybody, welcome back to Nikki T Live. I'm your host Nick Taylor, and today I'm hanging out with Sam Julien, director of DevRel over at Writer. Sam, how you doing?
Good, yeah, great to talk to you. It's actually pronounced Julene. I should have told you that before we actually
Oh,
went
sorry.
live,
So,
but no, it's all good. I'm used to
is
it.
it Julien or like Julien, like in French? You said.
No, it's Julene. It's actually
Oh,
like a
Julien. Oh, okay.
Swedish. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
that
no, I'm good. I'm thrilled to be here, and yeah,
cool, cool.
happy to hang out and chat.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. I usually ask how to pronounce people's names, and I think for some reason I thought it was like either French or like so. My bad on there, but that's a pretty
Everybody
cool
does.
last name, Julien. That's it.
Yeah.
Cool, nice. Yeah. So I think there's a bunch of folks that know you, but like this is my Twitter bubble, so like who knows? But for folks that might not know you, would you mind just giving a kind of like a who Sam the myth, the legend is, I guess?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm Sam Julene. I am self-taught developer turned developer relations leader at this point. I started in tech. I transitioned from a brief career in finance about 10 years ago into tech. I started as a C Sharp and JavaScript developer, self-taught, um, and then moved into content and developer relations in 2018 when I joined Auth0. And at Auth0, which was then later acquired by Okta, I kind of worked the whole gamut. I did content, dev advocacy, then became manager of DevRel, then became the director of DevRel, then founded
Okay.
a developer channels and programs team. And then I joined Writer in April, so just 3 months now,
Okay.
and I'm sort of building their developer relations program from scratch. So it's very cool. It's a Writer is a Series B generative AI platform for enterprises. So it's a really exciting time, but also has a lot of open source roots and open source stuff going on. So yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's
that's
me in a
cool.
nutshell.
That's cool. So yeah, I guess kind of change of industries. You like Okta is like security, like authentication, Auth-Zen, Auth-Z. Uh, but it's super interesting, the whole AI space right now. So I think it's pretty cool that you're over there. Like we didn't talk about it much before the stream, but like I've been starting to dabble in things more AI related at work a bit. I've been focused mainly on building out things in the front end. So I've been working on our Star Search, which is our kind of like AI offering. We call it kind of like Copilot for Git history. So not the same scope of what Writer's doing, but it's been interesting integrating with AI APIs and I'm looking to start working a bit more on like the agent side and stuff too, but still early days. But it's just a lot of fascinating stuff going on in the AI space right now. I know you were, I think you were at the AI, I forget what the conference is called, but AI.engineer.
Yeah, it was called the AI Engineer World's
AI
Fair.
engineer.
That was
Okay, yeah.
in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago, and that was actually Writer's like first ever developer sponsorship, developer event sponsorship. So
Oh, cool.
it was
Oh,
a
I
lot
didn't
of fun.
realize.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, awesome. Cool. All right. So let's talk a bit about Writer. I mean, you kind of gave a little bit of a TLDR there, but I'm just gonna switch us to pairing view, and I'm just gonna open up the Writer homepage here, and let's just make sure I'm on the homepage. Okay. So we're gonna be digging into some stuff with Writer today, but like I guess can you kind of speak to some of the things that Writer does offer? I know we're gonna be looking at an SDK later, but I think there's more than that though.
Yeah, yeah, it's there's quite a lot. So Writer is a full stack Gen AI platform and primarily targeted at big enterprise companies, but we build the whole stack. So we build and train our own models from scratch
Okay.
that are built for business use cases, especially essentially, and we have some like domain specific models, like a medical model and that kind of thing. And
Okay.
about half of those models are open and have like open licenses or like hobby licenses that then you can get enterprise licenses for.
Okay.
And then alongside that, we also build this kind of a custom approach to graph-based RAG, retrieval augmented generation. It's a super accurate, low hallucination version of RAG. And for people who don't know, RAG is stands for retrieval augmented generation. And basically, what that means is like you feed external documents to the LLM in order to give it more context for the answer that you're trying to generate. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we build that. We sort of offer that as a service as part of our
Okay.
services, and then on top of all that, like we have this whole platform called AI Studio that is, um, it's got one component that is like no code tools for business users to be able to build AI applications, but then we have a whole developer side, which is like a really cool Python framework for building drag and drop UIs with Python in the back, and then a Python SDK and a TypeScript SDK, and that's
Okay.
all sort of on top of this API that sort of underlies all of that for basically accessing all of the other functionality in Writer. So yeah,
Okay.
big comprehensive platform.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I didn't realize you trained your own models. Is that to just because it's literally to focus on the specific business use cases as opposed to grabbing like an LLM that might be like a all-knowing air quotes oracle? Is that kind of the reasoning or?
Yeah, that's part of it. Is it's we build different models for different use, like different elements of the system. And so and yeah, part of it is, being able to train on particular data in order to get like high quality business output or like legal output or things like that, that are specific
Okay.
to enterprise use cases.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes
Yeah,
sense. That's
yeah,
that's kind of like again what I'm working on is not the same space as all, but like we're focused on data coming from like GitHub, and so we have a good data set there. So that's
yeah.
so that allows us to provide better answers and stuff too. So
Yeah, and
that's
there's
cool.
also there's lots of, there's you use LLMs in lots of different places in these kinds of systems. Like everybody's sort of used to interacting with a model, like you're using ChatGPT or maybe calling the API. But there's also
Yeah.
like smaller models that are used along the way in a lot of these big systems. And so being able to build those ourselves, like for example in our RAG solution, like we built a specialized model that generates graph structures from data and stuff like that. And so there's
Okay.
there's that component too, where it's like beneficial to build and control the model yourself.
Yeah. And it also makes sense. Like I listen to the Leighton podcast pretty often, and just because I find it's pretty solid. But uh, like Swick's Sean Wang's talked before about just the whole concept of agents, or like just like it's better to have something do one thing really well potentially versus like like ChatGPT is great and Gemini and Claude, but like they're kind of more like for everything to some degree, so it's like so it's
Right.
cool that you're focusing on these particular things, I think.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we talked, I think last week and a little earlier this week, but so there's a Node SDK. I think I'm gonna work with the Node SDK for whatever we build out. Just because I mean I could do Python, I just haven't really done much Python. So just in terms of given the time constraints, I think I'll go with what I know.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but yeah, I guess so. Like to get started, like I signed in just a little whiles ago. I'm just gonna sign in again. I'm definitely not gonna expose any API keys or anything here. But I guess I don't know if you want to talk through about like the onboarding or what happens a bit here. Like I think I already signed in, so I might have already answered some of these things. But
Yeah, let me see if I can like actually see your your screen is a little hard for me to see on that. So let me switch over to like Twitch or
oh,
something and
okay,
and see.
okay,
Okay,
I
yeah, I can
guess
kind of
it's
see it better now.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. So this is just sort of the little onboarding wizard, and you can just kind of pick whatever you think makes the most
Okay.
sense. It's clearly like targeted at more like business users and that kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I'll
that
just
are
say
mostly doing things
product.
like content creation and product design, product creation kind of thing. So
Okay.
yeah, and then when you hit there, you can hit let's go, and it should get you going. Yeah. So then this is like there's actually like two components to the product. There's like this writer like application side that has all these like pre-built applications, and then there's the like AI studio part of the platform. So in
Okay.
the bottom left in the toolbar, like you should see a link down toward, yeah, called AI studio. So if you click it on that,
Okay. So I can open that up here.
yep, and so
Cool.
that's just like telling you how to do it.
Okay.
Oh, did you go back? I think you might have
I
went back or something.
Oh, weird. Oh, it just took a second to change for some reason.
Oh, there it
Okay.
goes. Never mind. Okay, cool. So yeah, so now you're on the onboarding page, and so now you can just hit build an app,
Okay.
and it should bring up a little wizard there.
Okay.
Okay, and then yeah, so on the dev tool side, so framework is the like Python framework application. So for this, you would just generate an API key. So you can just click on
Okay.
the API box,
Okay. Cool. All right. I will not
and
reveal
then
the key.
yeah,
uh,
yeah. So there's
okay.
your API
So
key.
okay, app ID is fine to display, I imagine.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's no big deal. But
Okay.
yeah, you can
Okay. I'll
hide
just give
that
a little
and copy your
description here.
key.
Stream with Sam. Okay. All right. And just there's some stuff in the chat going on. Ryan on Twitch is saying, I remember Sam introducing. Oh, I see you just answered him. Yeah, so he thinks it's pretty awesome. He had his mind blown when you were demoing it, I guess. And
Oh, that's
SD over
great.
on YouTube saying she loves the look of the UI. Oh, and I guess she was looking at the templates too, so like creating a chat with a database. And Idrinth was saying, oh no, that's a side conversation. Never mind. Cool, cool. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna, I guess from here, where should we head to next? So like, um,
Probably, yeah, probably what you're gonna want to do is just clone the, or you could basically start building whatever app you want to build, and I'll send you, or actually I can
cool.
paste it in the chat too, but I'll send you the link to the SDK.
Okay, cool. I'll go grab that. I'm just gonna switch us to just conversation view for a minute so I can get the API key copied without it being exposed. Cool. All right. Cool. All right. So there's that. I'll go ahead and share this in the chat too for people. So this is the Node.js SDK. Cool. All right.
Oh, and I'll send you the sign up link too, in case people want to follow along.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Let me just. I'll just create a new Next.js app, I guess, for now. Um,
Yeah, you could do that. You could even use V0 if you want to get fancy or something and generate it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whatever you want to do, it doesn't
I,
matter. Whatever's
I
faster.
yeah, I think I blew those credits a while ago.
Oh yeah.
Just, just trying it. I don't have a paid account for it, so. Okay, cool. So create npx. All right, we'll call it stream with Sam. Cool. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Let's see here. I will not use app router for the moment because I haven't used it too much yet. Sure. Okay, cool. We'll let this install. And then I'm just gonna copy the API key in, and then we can come back to, yeah, then we should be able to go. Okay, I'm just gonna hide the screen for a second here, just so I can get my API key in. Because yes, I have revealed API keys on a stream before.
Yeah,
um,
and that's
cool.
that's dangerous with these AI tools.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
You can,
exactly.
you can run up a big usage.
Yeah, no, totally. Okay, stream with Sam. There we go. Okay, code. Um, um, yeah, so while I'm just updating my .env here, I guess so there's the Node.js SDK, but you also said that there's a whatchamacallit, a Python SDK as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a Python SDK,
Okay.
and then all of that is just overlaying um, an API. So if whatever language or stack people want to use, they can just use the API as well.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we got a Next.js app here. So let me just make sure that that's running. I know app router is the new hot thing, but we're still working with the pages router at the moment at work. And although I do understand how app router stuff works, I don't really want to add extra complexity to the stream today. So cool. All right. So okay, good. I am not revealing the key. Thank God. Okay, cool. Let's hide that. Okay, so yeah, I guess let's just talk a bit about the Node SDK. So, uh, what do the SDKs provide? Like, I mean, I know it wires up to writer, obviously, but I guess what kind of things can you do with your APIs, your
So
SDK?
right
Sorry.
Yeah, right now, it's mostly focused on like text completion and chat.
Okay.
We're adding more, like we're going to be adding more of the RAG stuff and some of the other stuff like in over the coming months. But
Okay.
for the purpose of this, there's basically the chat method and the text completion method, and you can pick different models. Like most of the like for this kind of purpose, you probably just go with the defaults for them.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, all right. So let's just take a peek here and let's copy this code and let's add a API endpoint and let's just call it. Let's see here. Um, well, I guess let's speak to a bit about what's going on in here in the SDK. So in the example here, obviously we're wiring up to our API key. We're importing it. So the writer chat, um, basically, I guess the models here. So I've never heard of the Palmyra or Palmyra. Yeah, what model is that specifically? Is that a writer specific one or is that from a third party?
Yeah, that is our those are our in-house models, and there's actually, I'll send you a link,
Okay.
because we have a page that like goes over all the different models. But yeah, that's our sort of family of models, um, that we build ourselves. And there's sort of three main models. There's like the most advanced one is the Palmyra X, version 3 instruct. And then
Okay.
the chat one, that's mostly for the text completion stuff. And then the chat one is the Palmyra X 232K. I think that's the one that's actually listed on the thing. And then
Okay.
there's also like a really big model with a big context window, called Palmyra X32K.
Okay.
Um, so um, so yeah, but most, and there's more than that, but like those are the ones that people tend to use the most for these kinds of things.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
The
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is using server send events. That's what we use at work as well. So you kind of get the streamed response in, which is nice. I'm just looking at the difference here. That's the streaming response. This is here. That's okay. That's just console logging a particular thing, awaiting it. and this one's
Yeah,
okay.
you can kind of use for either the text completion or the chat. There's streaming and non-streaming versions of them basically. So like
Okay,
when
okay,
you
yeah,
type into when you do something with like ChatGPT, it starts sending you the words as it's generating it, and it's kind of a like it's kind of also like a UI trick because there's like
yeah,
latency with these models, and so it's kind of a way to like uh, make the latency not feel as painful with these
yeah,
AI
yeah,
apps right now.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so let's create a new file here. We'll just test it out here. Okay, so we have, let's just call this, I don't know, writer API. Terrible name. Uh, or write. You know what? We'll just call it stream. Cool. And let's just come here. I've already installed the uh, AI SDK. Sorry, the writer SDK. Okay, yeah, no, I've got to do this differently with. I surprisingly have not written an API function in Next.js. We don't really use it. I haven't written one in a while. Function API Next.js. Cool. API routes. I'll just grab a quick boilerplate. That's all I really needed. Okay. Cool. All right. And there. Boom, boom. Okay. There. And okay. It's complaining about. Oh, it's not a TypeScript example. Sure. Okay. Next request. This should be next response. Cool. All right, and this should be async. I don't know why that example is not up to date. Okay, cool. So we're gonna essentially here, we're gonna create a new instance of the writer. We're gonna create the stream, and then we're gonna wait it, and it's gonna console log it on the server, or it should. Okay, so let's see here. Ba, ba, ba. And also, while I'm doing this, so we were talking, I don't know. Maybe it's too ambitious for the length of the stream. We'll see. But we were kind of talking about like either like the Lord of the Rings or like the Pokemon API to kind of wire up something with that. I don't know if people in the chat have other suggestions for public APIs that we're not paying for today. For something fun, kind of like a Pokemon or like Lord of the Rings or who knows. Doesn't have to be those, but just throwing out some ideas if people want to suggest some. Okay,
Yeah,
so
and I
we've
think
got
basically
that.
we're saying we would like feed some API data into the models, like if it was for a game or something, and ask it to like make recommendations for us or something.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, okay, so we've got the stream here. So um, on the left side, it's just streaming. It streamed the response, but you can see it console logged it. But it says, as an AI model, I don't have a name. I'm a computer designed to understand a generated language. Whoops.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense because the default prompt there was just "Hi, my name
okay,
is."
yeah. So let's
So
just
it's
have
working.
yeah. So let's have a bit of fun here. Let's just say name a Pokemon character, and this is where we can kind of start to inject stuff maybe. And again, let me see. Oh, people are saying Chuck Norris maybe, Lord of the Rings like we mentioned, Narnia maybe. So we got a few options there. Okay,
Oh, is
I'm just
there?
gonna go ahead and save this, and let's just come back up here, and I'm just gonna drag up the console. And folks in the chat, let me know if you can see the console okay. I can definitely bump it up one more. Here, let's close the sidebar. Yeah, let's make it a bit bigger. And I'm gonna just refresh the stream. And API resolved without sending a response. Okay, it responded with Pikachu. Okay, so I guess, okay, no, so it did work. Sorry, that was just very quick. Just to show that, I just said name a, not this one, sorry, name a Pokemon character, and it actually just responded with Pikachu. It was so fast I didn't even recognize it in the console
Nice.
here. Okay,
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
long story short, we have the SDK working, so that's a good first step. Okay, and you're saying you see the
Oops.
console fine, SC, perfect. Okay, so who knows? Maybe Chuck Norris could be funny. Chuck.
Let's just go with the Pokemon API since we've
Okay,
already kind of gone down
yeah,
that road.
yeah, it's true. Okay, cool.
Since we know that
Pokemon API.
we know that that is an actual API that works.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is the right one or not. Let me just see if
I,
there's
th-
other Poke API, the
I
Pokemon
think that's the
API.
main one.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, let's just zoom this in for a second. Okay, all right, so submit. Okay, try. Let's see here. API v2. Okay, please switch to the v2 page, which is this. Okay, fair use. So yeah, free to use. That's fine. Wrapper libraries. Okay, there's Pokédex. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we can just hit the API directly, I guess. So let's see what kind of endpoints they have here. So let's just try some in the browser for now. Let me just split the screen. Okay, so this is just the general one here. I'm gonna zoom over here and okay, so some things. This is just going straight to the API, and this is talking about the things that are available, like ability. So if we come here, we can get different abilities. So I I'm wondering what we could do potentially, and I'm curious what the crowd's thinking too. But like maybe like if I come back to the main list of all the endpoints here, like we kind of hit some of these different endpoints to say, can you build me a new Pokemon, or I don't know, or help me pick a Pokemon? I'm curious what we could do here. There's obviously our imagination is the only limiting factor, but let's see here. What's the language? Oh, Korean. Okay, no, that's actual language. I thought it was I thought it was Pokemon languages for a second. I thought they had their own languages. Um, okay, cool. So machine. I actually haven't explored this whole thing before. So what's Mega Punch? Okay, wow. There's all kinds of stuff here. Okay. Um.
Yeah, I wonder if
Uh,
we could like give it abilities and ask us to make recommendations on what to use in
okay.
different settings or something. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
spitballing.
yeah, yeah. No, that's a good idea. I just want to see if there's like the actual names first. Pokédex. I think that's what gives us all of them. National can't. No,
Oh
that's
yeah, or yeah, I saw the chat yeah generating a Pokemon that could be cool too. Like
yeah,
feed it a bunch of examples and ask it
yeah,
to come up
exactly.
with something. That's a fun idea.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so let's see here in terms of UI. So like, let me just read the chat there. Generating a Pokemon sounds fun. Yeah. So I guess like just for the sake of time, we could maybe use a few of the endpoints to provide drop downs, maybe to pick the different abilities. For example, like here, I guess there's oh man, there is so many. It has no effect in battle. Okay, wow. There's all kinds of stuff. Stench drizzle. Okay, I guess let's start off with an ability. I think I'll create a drop down with just that maybe, and and then we can kind of go from there. How's that sound?
Yeah, yeah, sounds
Cool.
good.
And then maybe like once we build one, um, we could try and have like try and build two and say like who would win in a battle. Maybe I don't know.
Oh yeah,
That could be fun.
yeah, that sounds
Um,
interesting.
okay, cool. Okay, so let's see here. Let's come and do a bit of UI here. So let's open up a new window here. This is uh this is kind of like I mean I live code on the stream all the time, but I've never actually built out a full app like on the fly. So this will be a mistake. I mean it's fun. I'm excited to do it, but and I think what we'll do is like I'm gonna see how far I can get, Sam, and I'll put it up on GitHub after. And if I'd encourage people if they want to continue working on it or taking a peek at it, feel free to grab your own API key from Writer and kind of continue the story, or could be fun. All right. Um, okay, so let's create a new page here. So let's do okay. Code source. Let's close the sidebar. Pages, and we'll call it Pokey Picker. I don't know. Okay.tsx, and I can't spell. All right, cool. Let's close that down. Okay, so export default. Uh, just for folks in the chat, I am using the pages router just because I'm a little more familiar with it at the moment. Export default function, poke picker page, and then let's just say like, okay, I'll go with that for now, chat GPT, but let's see here. I cannot find name React. Why not liking that? Okay, there we go. Cool, so let's go to poke picker. We should have something here. Okay, cool. I'll zoom this in a bit more. I want to have them side by side as we build it out, just because it'll just be a lot easier for people. So let's see here. We're gonna want to get some data. So all right, we could have a hook, I guess, but we'll just try and keep this simple. Okay, let's go take a peek at that API. Let's bring this back. Where was it? Okay, so we have this ability. Let me just copy that. Let's bring this back. Okay. And so we're going to say, okay. Yeah, let's do that. So this is our API that's going to give us abilities, and it returns array of name URL. Cool. All right. Cool. Okay, let's see here. Let's do, I don't know. We can use a use effect for now. Why not? Something. I'm moving fast here, so let's do this. Actually, no, we can do a hook, I guess. Okay, I'll just keep it all inside. Const use ability, and we don't need a URL. And let's just do this. So while I'm going ahead and doing this, Sam, I guess kind of what's your day to day like at the moment? I know you're still fairly new at Writer, so I imagine you're wrapping up a bit still, or
Yeah. Well, it's been it's wild being in an AI startup because it's like every week is like feels like a month because
okay,
things just like move so fast. But I'd say my day to day, I'm somewhat split between kind of the product side and the marketing side. Like I spend a lot of time. Right now, I haven't started building out a team yet, and so I'm doing a lot of sort of the IC stuff, and so I'm spending a lot of
okay,
time doing like tutorials and docs and things like that, and
oh
just like
that's cool.
testing out the SDKs and that kind of thing. And then the other half of the time working on all the like marketing strategy and developer marketing stuff and that kind of thing. So it's
Okay,
it's really fun. It's a good like mix of like doing different things. My last role had gotten like pretty managerial and administrative. I wasn't really doing much coding or much like
okay,
content or anything at that point. And so it's kind of fun to be back in the mix for a little while, you
okay.
know?
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. Cool, cool. All right, so let's do a. What's the chat saying? Oh, there's there's people discussing Pokemons now, just about evolutions of Pokemon. I'll be honest, I didn't watch a lot of Pokemon because it was a little after my time, but
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same.
I,
Like it was a little after when I was that age. So But now
Yeah.
I've had lots of like nieces and nephews and stuff who have been into it over the years.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're just gonna get that, and so when we fetch, we set it, and we'll say set is loading false. And I'll just be very clear that some of this code might not be like production ready, but that's just because we're moving fast. Uh, cool is loading, and then set to false, and then let's return is loading. Cool. So this should, in theory, get us the data. So let's come here. Let's do const. Yes, usability. And then let's see here. Okay, pick a Pokemon, sure. Choose an ability. Okay, and then let's do a select here. Let's do yes, thank you. This is actually very helpful, Copilot. At this point, these are the things that I find Copilot are helpful with. It's not always helpful, like, but when it's stuff like kind of bread and butter stuff, like
Yeah.
mapping over things, this is this is actually going to help me move a lot faster. So,
Yeah, me
shout out
too. I,
to
I I love it
yeah,
for that stuff. I don't need like it doesn't matter if I write boilerplate code or if AI writes it. Like
yeah, exactly. There we go. See, this is perfect. And there, and then need a fragment. Okay, there. That should be good. Whoops. Option, ability, loading, loading. What did I miss here? Hold on a sec. Okay, that's good. And then this should all be in a fragment. This has nothing to do with writer right now. We're just building out some stuff, but we will get to the writer stuff. Okay.
it's all good.
Okay. Why does it is option loading option? Oh, that's why. Ternary. Thank you. Uh, okay, now we're good. Okay, so we've already got our abilities here. That's good. Like it was so fast. Like I don't even know if you'll see that. Yeah, the loading was there for like a split second. So we've got some abilities. Okay, so that's one thing. Um, I guess I think what I'm thinking is maybe like pick an ability and then maybe like one other property, and then like then we could try and start comparing them. Just because like obviously we could build out all kinds of things to build a Pokemon, but that's not so much the purpose of what we're doing today.
Right, right.
Um,
Yeah, that makes
cool.
sense.
Cool. So let's see here. Berry firmness characteristic. What's this one? Uh, Characteristic one. Okay. Now these are all translations. But what are these characteristics? Okay. I'm not sure about that one. Let's see here. Machine. What's that? There's a lot of stuff in this API I've never seen before. Sword shield, mega punch. I guess. Let's see here. Okay, moves. Okay, these are different things. Let's see here. I'll try and find one other one. Move ailment. Wow, wow. There is a lot to a Pokemon. Let's see here. What's this one? Okay, we could just get the name, and then the skills maybe. I don't know. That could be good enough.
Yeah.
Let's see what people say in the chat. Guess I need a Pokemon themed get starter guide for next time. Yeah, and SD saying that Pokemon API is massive. Yes, it is. Okay,
Yeah,
you know
it's
what?
surprising.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we could just go with an. I guess the thing is, let's see here. If we pick an ability and we could see if that ability could go against a particular Pokemon, maybe.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, well, yeah, let's try that. Okay, so let's just grab this API. So let me copy that one, and we'll call this const use Pokemon. Okay, and okay, no, we don't need the ability right now. That can be after. Okay, All right, so here's the API, and we'll just say, I don't know. You know what? That's good. We don't need to do any kind of paging right now. There we go. It's loading. Thank you. Okay, fetch. There we go. This is all perfect. And return. All right, that is awesome. That was super fast. Okay, and let's do this. Whoops, sorry. Up here, const. Okay, it even knew to put the aliases for the names. Cool, that's good. Okay, so let's just do another select here, and then we can kind of start digging into stuff with writer here. Okay, so is loading, is loading Pokemons. And then here, this should be Pokemons instead. It should be a Pokemon, and then boom. Do do. Okay, and let's see what's in the name. Name does not exist. Yeah. So what does that one return? Let's just check real quick. Okay, it is name and URL as well. Okay, cool. So let's come back here, and that's usability. Use state. Okay. Well, it's the same type. It's not ability, but let's just put that here. Okay, and then we'll come down here, and then, okay, that's all good. Let's save that, and we don't need the stream right now. Let's come back to the Poke Picker. Okay, so we've got our abilities, and then we have our Pokemon. So I'll just put a title for that too. Okay, so choose ability, and we'll just put this in a div, and we'll do some tailwind here. So let's do class name. Let's go flex space between, and that's good. And then this can be div. We're almost set up to actually start using writer. uh, cool. Um, awesome. Uh, how big's the team at writer, Sam? Out of curiosity.
It's like 200 and something at the moment. I forget the
Oh, okay.
actual, like the exact number, but yeah, it's fairly big for.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
it's
good
been around
size.
for a few years. Like we just released this particular, like this platform of developer tools, but we've been doing the enterprise side of the house for several years now.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, this should do it. Did that work? Pick them out. Okay, that seems to have worked. Okay. All right, we can just make it a bit wider, and we've got that weird background, but that's fine. Let's just say, where is it? Pick a Pokemon div. Okay, let's do class name, and then just do W screen. That might be too big. Okay, whatever. We'll just add a padding, and then we'll just call it a day, and then we can get to business. Okay, let's do gap 16. Why is nothing updating? Oh, there we go. It's just a little slow. Okay, so and then we could add a button to like submit it, I guess, but nothing's formatting for some reason. But anyways, okay. So yeah, so the idea I'm thinking here is, so we've got this ability. So like, I don't know, how would Pokemon with the stench ability do against Pikachu, for example? So that could
Hmm.
be something that we could try. And I have no idea what it's gonna say, but so let's see here. Uh, Okay, so I guess so we'll pass it to the API. So let's see here. We'll create another hook, which is calling that, and then it's gonna need to return. Oh yeah, we'll have to do a readable stream. This is I only know this because I've been working on this recently with the stuff I'm doing. But let's add a button in here. So pick a Pokemon. Let's make this a form, and let's just add a um, I don't know, button. We'll say compare uh, ability to Pokemon. All right, cool. Let's see how that looks. Da, 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 da. Okay, where's that button? Okay, yeah. Oh, it's Tailwind. It's not styled at all. That's why. Okay, so let's do class name, and then we'll just say border, and then we'll say border black or what, red. Whatever, just so we can get something there. Okay, that should update at some point. There we go. Okay, so we've got a button here, and so basically when we submit it, we can go and hit this stream API. So I guess in here we'd want to pass a few things. So um, we'd
Yeah, you
probably
probably
want
want
to,
to write a prompt separately, like,
yeah,
and incorporate all that information in there.
yeah, exactly. So first we get request up here. Well, let's just say const ability. We'll fill that in after. Um, we'll call it stench. We can do it with like before we pass it in. We can just test it. We could say like uh, Pokemon equals Pikachu, and then so like you said, we'd have a prompt now. So let's just do this, and then we'll say const prompt. And I don't know if you want to speak to prompting in general. Like I know it's uh, I've definitely gotten better at it, but it's something like I've noticed you just have to get really specific for obvious reasons. But
Yeah. Yeah, that's the trickiest thing about working with these models is that is like getting like it's very hard to get the same input twice in a row. So you have I mean the
yeah,
same output twice in a row. And so you have to really follow some different like best practices with prompting and be like really specific. It also works
yeah,
really well to give examples. I mean, in a situation like a demo like this, it probably doesn't matter that much, but like I
yeah,
found that it helps a lot to be like, I'm going to give you this output and I want exactly like this input and I want this output and here's some examples, like a couple of examples of like the input and the output and that kind of thing. And like generally that really helps with uh,
yeah,
the output, you know. In a demo it won't matter, but even this it'll be funny because you'll see like it'll give like different answers at different
yeah,
times.
yeah,
So, and
yeah,
that's just
totally.
like the issue with the LLM as a medium, like regardless of what model you're using, you know.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good point to mention. Like it sounds kind of funny because like these things are so powerful, but like if you ask it to do math, it might not do as well because it's not a deterministic. Math is
Yeah,
deterministic, but like the LLMs aren't deterministic. So like it's I guess kind of like that. I guess that's where like stuff like you could have agents and stuff doing different things. Like you could get some information, but then you could say like, okay, this person's asking a mathematical problem. Don't ask the LLM, do this, run my function or whatever that does the calculation or something. And
yeah,
yeah, okay, cool.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, hey, Hijabi Coder, good to see you. Thanks for joining
Hey,
us. And oh yeah, take care, Ryan. Cool. All right. So yeah. So basically, I'm hard coding stuff for now. So we're gonna test with an ability, the ability Stench, and the Pokemon Pikachu. We'll put and the prompt is: will a Pokemon with the ability X be able to defeat Pokemon uh, Y? So I'm gonna just go back to the API, which is the stream there, the API slash stream, and I'm gonna just open up the uh, this over here. Let's just clean up the console log here, and then I'm gonna run this, and let's see what it says. Okay, So, okay, so we got a response. So it says Stench is an ability that reduces the opponent's accuracy by one stage. Pikachu is an electric type Pokemon, and electric type moves are not affected by accuracy reductions. Therefore, a Pokemon with the ability Stench will not be able to defeat Pikachu. Okay, so that's pretty
That's
solid actually.
that's pretty solid. Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of this is definitely fun, and like I want to wire it up so that we're sending the actual ones now. Let's go ahead here and
And I
let's.
missed, did you feed it any information about what, like, about the abilities, or did you just put in?
I
Yeah,
just
we have
put the ability because
so it's
yeah, it
just
could be
generally,
interesting.
it's just going on general knowledge right now. We haven't actually added any, like, it's
Yeah,
just going on what it's already trained on, like the general knowledge of the internet. It's not actually looking at any information from
yeah. So
the
we
API
could
yet. So
yeah.
that's pretty decent for not even giving it any information about the API.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So no, that is pretty cool. Yeah, we could add some like an arbitrary text thing too. Like we could say this is the ability and this is that, but like this, I don't know. Well, we can figure something out. But
Yeah, yeah,
let's get
that's cool.
okay. So let's do const dot sorry. Yeah, we've got that already. Sorry, we want to do request dot where's why am I not getting anything here? I just want the payload. Am I using the wrong definition here? Hold on a sec. Cookies, geo, no, none of that, none of that. Next config. I think I might be using the wrong thing. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, our API isn't in Next.js, so get JSON payload from Next.js page router API call. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. Yes, that's what I wanted. Okay. Oh, impressed. I'm on a Stack Overflow. Okay, yeah, it's in the response. Wait, hold on a sec. API routes, request, params. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can get the URL. Yeah, we could just do that, actually. Let's get the search params. Because this is kind of a get request. So here, and then we could say search params, and then we could say, and then let's see here, get ability, and then we'll say, I don't know, we'll have a default, I guess, or we'll say, yeah, sure, static. Okay, and then let's do here. Okay, and we'll default, and then we can try that just to make sure that this is working properly. So there. Okay, let's refresh this again. And ST's saying Pokemon 1 with ability 1 versus PM2 with ability 2. Yeah, we could do that too. What did it not like here? What am I doing wrong? Prompts. Oh, invalid URL. Really? Why is it invalid URL? Interesting. Stream. Why is it not passing it? Hold on a sec. Let me just do a bit of homework here. Da, 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 da. Okay, yeah. Sorry, that's all I need to do. Da, 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 da. Okay, there. Don't need any of this. And then we'll say in here there'll be ability and there'll be Pokemon. Let's get rid of this. Okay, that's good. And we can give. Okay, and then to pass payload to that. So let's go back to our app. And here, const use compare. Okay, perfect. It's Copilot is doing its thing. Cool. Fetch API stream. Yeah, cool. Let's see here. Okay, we want to post it, ability Pokemon, and then we're gonna get a response back. Okay, that'll be a streaming response though, so like we'll worry about that in a second. But let's do this, and okay, const use compare. Okay, let's do it with a test. Okay, let's just call that, and we can do we'll do that in a use effect, but all right. I think this is the most coding I've done on a live stream before. Well, I
Nice.
mean, except when I'm doing my work. Okay, so use results. Okay, let's just see if it calls that. It should post it. Let's refresh the page. Okay, so it didn't like it. Request.json. Why didn't it like it? Wait, request.json. Valid hookup. Okay, all right. Let's just go old school then. Cool. So on submit here. And then, okay, let's get, that's in a form. So let's get the select here. We'll give this a name. This would be Pokemon. And then, where's the ability? Okay, let's give a name here. Ability. Okay, and then let's get form data for ability Pokemon. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so that's that. And then let's do a const. And then let's just do a fetch here. So let's do const. Okay, this is going to be the stream. That's right. So we need to output this. Okay, well, let's just make the API call to start. Fetch API stream, post, stringify, that's good. Okay. Okay, that should be good. Okay, let's try this now. So we're just basically gonna send what we picked. So we can take a peek here. So let's try something else. Let's do speed boost and Arbuck. And let's see what happens here. Hopefully we don't get a 500 this time. Okay, we're getting an error. What did it not like? Request.json is not a function, really? Let's see here. Why is this not a function? Okay, let's just debug this maybe. And if I get stuck on here, Sam, we can maybe just look at tweaking the prompt. But let's see here. Let's start the debugger up. Debug terminal. Okay, let's go. All right, so let's run this, and then we got our API call over here. Okay, so why is this being called right away? Oh, that's because I have the API open. That's right. Let's close that. Okay, let's let that run. That's going to fail. Okay, let's try this again now. Let's do. Okay, so we're here. So I've got the request. Where is my JSON? URL. Nothing in the query string is expected. Why is it not in there? Okay, well, you know what? Let's see here. Let's do instead, just so this unblocks us, because I'm clearly doing something wrong at the moment here. Let's just go with the query. So we're just gonna switch this up. So let's stop the debugger for a second. Okay. The query, clearly doing something wrong here. Request dot query. Why it's there though? Interesting. All right, let's just put it in the URL for now. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, what are you saying, SD? You have the prompt there? Yeah, no, that's true, but okay. Here, hold on a sec. Read from the query string. Should be just the router. Ability does not exist on type readable. No, that's not what I want. Why is this so? Where the heck is it? Cookies, credentials. Hold on, I'm gonna look real quickly because I can't remember the last time I wrote an API calling Next.js. Yeah, sorry for a bit of the silence there, Sam.
No, it's
Once
all
I just get
good.
past this API, next pages router. I just need to look at an example because we don't really use the API in our own app. Okay, API routes. Probably could have just done this with a netlify function, but I already opened this can of worms. So, okay, so pages router API routes. Yes, so parameters. Yeah, okay, it's a post. Yes. Yeah, it's supposed to be request.query. API routes built-in requests helpers request parsed by. Okay, yeah, that's right. I just want an example. I don't know why it says request.query was wrong, but oh, I was using the wrong types. That's why. Okay, that explains it. That's my
Nice.
bad. This is what happens when you rely on. This is the good and bad of TypeScript. Is like you can have types, but it doesn't necessarily reflect what it actually is. So like if you have, anyways,
Yep.
cool. All right, let's leave that there. I was solely being driven by what was there. So okay, there. Let's get rid of these. I knew I was doing something silly. Was starting to doubt all my abilities. Okay, function is missing. It's not immediately following the declaration. I don't know what that means. Oh, the import. That's why. Okay, here. Let's put that up. Okay, and then there we go. Now we're back in business. I think. Let's just get rid of this. Okay. Oof. That was okay. That's fine. So let's request dot body, and then there. That should be good. Okay, let's try that. Types. Okay. So let's try this again. I got to start up the site again, I believe. Okay, in our dev. All right, and we're definitely getting it from the body here, and then the pokey picker. What's it saying about the, yeah, it actually is a form element. I'm gonna ignore that for now. So, um, cool. We will cast it. Sure. Okay. Let's see here. Let's try this again. So we're gonna submit. We're getting the form data. Then we're gonna pass a JSON payload, and then that should give us what we want. So let's come back to our pokey picker. Where is it? Did I close it? Okay, here, let's refresh. Okay, let's try this again now. So we've got those two. Let's speed boost and sand shrew, whatever that is. Okay. Okay, it is not to. Okay, so it's working now. It is not possible to determine the outcome of a battle between two Pokemon with undefined abilities, as the abilities of these Pokemon are unknown. Okay, so I'm not getting the. It's not sending it properly. So let's just see real quick.
Okay.
But it is responding now, and it is passing it, so that's good. Just
Yeah,
give me
for
a
sure.
second here. I don't know why my browser is running so slow. I just opened the dev tools and it's still trying to open. Okay, interesting. Okay, well, we'll do old school console log then. Or prompt alert. Let's try that. Okay. Oh, why is it reloading a million times? What's going on? Failed to fetch. Okay. Interesting. Fetch API. Let's refresh here. Okay, we'll fetch the once. So let's pick battle armor. This. Okay, so it's not getting the thing. Okay, so that's okay. Let's just check that and then we should be good. Okay. Poke picker. Zoom this in. Wasn't expecting to do this much debugging, but that's the life of live streaming. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so there, that's a compare. Okay, so this is what I want to look at. So let's okay, so event target, form data, okay. Let's just check. We have name Pokemon, name ability. Okay, so let's see here. What does this give us? Form data dot. Oh, okay. It's the option is the value. Okay, I see. Okay, I know what it is. Okay. Let's see here. And ST's asking in the chat, Sam, is this LLM completely open source?
No, this one is not. We do have other models that are open source that
Okay.
are up on Hugging Face. I think about like half of our models are open, and then the other half are just for enterprise licenses, basically.
Okay. Cool. All right. So let's do this again. All right. So boom. Okay, there. Now we've got them. Pikachu and Sturdy. Okay. So now I should get something. Okay, so API resolved with outsending response. Okay, let's get rid of that alert. And hopefully we can do a few more interesting things here. Okay, let's, oops, there, and then here, and then let's console dir the body just to make sure. Request.body, okay, and let's see what this gives us. Okay, let's send that again. Okay, ability sturdy, Pokemon Pikachu. It is not, okay. Okay, so it's getting the data, it's just not showing it. It's not passing it to the prompt for some reason. Okay. Uh, ability and Pokemon. So why are these two not? Oh, I know what I did wrong. I have to parse it. JSON.parse. Okay. It's just a lack of some, just, okay, yeah. Yeah, we should be good now. Okay. Sorry for that run around there. Okay. Let's get this here now, and let's try, let's say, Insomnia versus Pikachu, and then let's see what that does. Okay, so a Pokemon with the ability Sturdy cannot be defeated by a single hit that would otherwise knock it out. However, Pikachu can still defeat a Pokemon with Sturdy if it uses a move that does not use damage, such as Thunder Wave or Volt Switch. Okay, so okay, now that we have this working, I guess we could, I guess in terms of doing more with the writer SDK, because like you said, this is probably just going straight to the internet right now.
Oop.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were able to get it to respond.
Did I lose you?
Oh yeah, weird. My camera. Hold on a sec. That's weird. Hold on. I can still hear you. The chat can still hear me. Hold on a sec. Weird. Uh, let's see here. Refresh. That's weird. I don't know. My internet didn't go down or anything. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah, that was weird. My camera was still running and it weird. Okay, so yeah, so I was able to pass in the choices. So like if we do damp and like I don't know sand shrew, and we just run this. But like you were saying, this might um, not necessarily be hit. This might just be going straight to the internet from the model right now.
Well, it's just it's not actually going out to the internet, but I'm just saying it sounds like if we're not giving it any additional context, it's probably just going off of what
Yeah,
information it knows that is built into the data set and everything, you know.
yeah. So we could add a like a text field, and we could just add like some like a piece of text that will ask like I don't know, like it's I don't know, like it's late at night or something. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff as we go here, but
Yeah, you could add
okay,
whatever you want to the prompt, or have a text input that the user could add something to the prompt, or whatever,
okay,
like
yeah,
um
okay.
yeah.
So let's do that. Okay, so let's just add down here. We'll say text area, and then we'll just say name prompt, or we'll say name additional context, I guess. Additional context. And then there, and then we can just say, yeah, we'll pass that along as well. So let me do this. We want to add that, and we'll do here. That's good. And then we just got to go to the API. Um, okay. Also, Um, before comparing, here is some additional information. This might not be the best prompt, but okay. And then we'll say additional context, and then we'll just come up here, and then we'll get that from here. Okay, this UI is looking terrible at the moment, but let's see here. Okay, so um, I'm gonna lean on the chat here. So chat, um, what? Okay, so we're gonna pass an ability, and just so we have some more context. So I'm gonna pick an ability here. Uh, let's see here, color change, and I'm gonna go against. I don't even know what some of these are, but let's go against Jigglypuff. I've heard of that before, I think. Okay, so what's some additional context, chat, that we could send here to see if we could get a better answer? Or not a better answer, but something more interesting. So um, the attacking Pokemon is trained by Ash. Okay, that's good to know. Okay. Uh, the uh, the uh, Pokemon uh, is trained by Ash. Okay, let's try this. I don't have the streaming response now. We're just doing it in the API, but okay, so let's see here. We're getting something a little better now, I think. So saying here, the ability color change allows a Pokemon to change its type to match the move that it is hit by. This can be very useful ability as it can allow a Pokemon to resist or even be immune to certain types of attacks. Jigglypuff is a normal fairy type Pokemon. That means that it is weak to poison, steel, and ghostly type attacks. If the Pokemon with a color changing ability is hit by poison, steel, or ghost type attack, it will change its type to match that of the attack. This will make it resistant or even immune to further attacks. In addition, the Pokemon with a color change ability may also be able to learn moves that are super effective against Jigglypuff. Um, okay, so I think it's kind of working with some additional context.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so this is obviously like a fun example, but um, I guess this shows like how we can just tap into what writer's giving us here. Um, typically, I guess some questions I have. I know we've got about 12 minutes here, but the model typically is Palmyra. This version here, is that typically a good one to work with, or do you recommend like a different model in this context, or is it up to snuff, I guess, for what we're doing?
Yeah, yeah. I think the one that you're using, I think it was which one was it in the code there? Yeah, the 000. So
Okay.
that's like a previous model. The most recent one is 003. It is more expensive to use. Like it'll burn through more of your tokens. So I always
Oh,
recommend
okay.
like
Okay.
using like this is a good one to use because it's like um, a little bit cheaper since it's the previous generation.
Okay.
Um, and so but yeah, no, the one if you were using like in production, there's a 003 instruct,
Okay.
um, and that one is like much more advanced for more
Okay.
precision. But no, this is good, and this the 00232K is also what you would use most of the time in like chat models and that like chat conversations and stuff too, because that's another thing you could do with this is like
Okay.
instead of just doing like text completion, you could do like a chat with Pokemon information or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I'm gonna see here. Like, be brief with your answer. Let's just see. And uh, somebody, Bjorn in the chat saying Ash, who we said it was trained by, should have been an auto win. He says we found a bug. I don't think that's a bug in writer. That might be people's opinions on Pokemods, I guess. But okay, so I added it's nighttime this time to see, and I also said to be more brief. So here, okay, so it did make it more brief this time. Um, So it said no, it will not be able to defeat Jigglypuff. Color change only changes the type of Pokemon using it, and Jigglypuff knows the move Sing, which will put the opponent to sleep regardless of type. Okay. So, anyways, I'm kind of happy we got like apologies for the getting my wrong types there at the beginning. That completely threw me off. But um, again, like obviously we're making a fun example here. What I'm curious, like, what are some of the things you've? I know you're still kind of fresh there, but like, what are some of the kinds of things that like some of the enterprise or any of your customers have been doing kind of with Ryder out of curiosity?
Yeah, there's tons. I'd say we see a lot of marketing use cases, for example, like generating copy, or like a big one is like, let's say you have to like rename, like let's say you have docs for a product and you have to like rename something in the docs.
Yeah.
Um, Rather than like manually doing like find and replace or something, like you can have an LLM do that. And so we'll have customers like build applications that like take take input of like a previous product page, and then like recreate it, and give it specific instructions. We have some like nice features around like tone and style and vocabulary and things like that that are configurable inside of the platform. And so um,
Okay.
like, yeah, so big conversions of documents and articles and that kind of thing tend to be a big use case. There's also a lot
Okay.
of like, we do a lot with financial companies that have like regulatory and compliance requirements and stuff around text,
Okay.
or on images. We also have a vision model that can like look at images and give descriptions and things like that. So
Okay.
um
Cool.
yeah, yeah. And so like, product descriptions are another big one. One tutorial that I'm working on right now is based on a real use case, is a release notes generator. So like, we had a customer who they would take these like CSVs that had like just like a dump of like GitLab notes and stuff. And
Okay.
we basically built them an application where they can upload that CSV, and it like outputs nice formatted HTML like summaries that then they could just
Okay.
like embed on their docs page. Um, and so there's a lot of stuff like that where, like, what's cool about this stuff is like like none of the things we do are super big and flashy. I mean, they're really impressive, but like they're
Yeah.
they're like real use cases that are saving people like hours and hours of time, and then you scale that across entire teams and companies. And
Hmm.
I feel like that's where a lot of the ROI in AI is right now, are these like repetitive, tedious tasks of like dealing with data and reformatting and like that kind of thing that like are
Okay.
genuinely really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. And there's a question in the chat. Essie's wondering. Let me see. Let me find it. Says I saw that there's a 10-day free trial. Wouldn't that be too many requests and responses per user?
Oh, that's
Um,
a good question. There's actually two different. So the 10-day free trial is for like the like writer platform side, which is all of the like pre-built applications and everything.
okay.
Um, the AI Studio like developer side is the one that operates on just like credits, basically like
Okay.
token usage, essentially. And so, but I think when you sign up now, it's like one single sign up process. And so like,
Okay.
yeah, after 10 days, you'll like lose access to the like writer platform thing, but the like the AI Studio part, you'll still be able to like use the rest of your credits. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is again, like I said, I got into the weeds a bit of just getting some things working, but not related to the writer SDK at all. Like getting set up with the writer SDK was very quick. This was just me struggling with using some wrong types and just the nature of just building stuff live. But no,
Yeah.
this is super cool.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, so there's the writer SDK for Node.js. There's one for Python, and
Mhm.
and then there's also the AI Studio offering. Is there
Yeah. Yeah,
anything I'm
there's a
missing
big
there? Or?
yeah, the one piece is so we have this thing called Writer Framework that's like it's a drag and drop. It's basically a Python web platform framework.
Okay.
And so it's like a drag and drop UI that has Python in the back. Essentially, what it does is it creates a Vue.js front end and a fast API back end. But it's super fast to use. You just like build the UI with drag and
Okay.
drop, but then like all of the code is in Python, and so you can like code all the business logic and like
Okay.
it's just like full Python, and so you can build super fast full stack apps with Python. So
Okay.
um, it's sort of like it's similar. It's in the same vein. And I don't know if you or your audience is familiar with like Streamlit and Gradio and like some of those that are basically like these Python application builder frameworks. It's in the same vein as those, but just sort of like
Okay.
more tuned for our platform and our enterprise like experience and that kind of thing.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I actually got a chance to hang out with Liz Siegel. She's over at Cloudflare now, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
you might have met her at the AI Engineer World Fair. Um, I
Yeah,
think
I
she's
didn't get to actually meet her in person. That like I think we were at the same things at the same time. And we somehow missed each other, but I've been following her
okay.
for a while. But since she used to be at Twilio and everything, and so yeah,
Yeah,
she's super cool.
yeah. I did a live stream with her last year when she was still at Twilio, and we took a peek at Streamlit. It was pretty. I think those frameworks are pretty cool because I, I'm super familiar with a lot of front end, so like building out, user experiences is not as big a lift. But like for people who are like they just want to get some work done and they just want to get some UI generated, Streamlit was pretty cool for that. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. Those platforms are largely used more by like data scientists and like AI engineers and those types who are sort of like they're they're used to building in Python, but they don't necessarily like want to learn front end web development, like and
yeah,
so
yeah.
like that's where we're seeing a lot of writer framework usage is like the AI engineers and ML engineers and people like that who like can then
Okay,
just like super quickly wire up an app that works really well and is
okay,
stable and fast and that kind of thing. It is a really cool platform. You should just like play around with it.
yeah.
Uh, the team behind it like they have a real eye for developer experience and stuff, and so it's fun. It's a fun platform to build on.
Yeah,
But,
no, for sure. Um,
yeah,
we've got just a couple minutes here. We'll wrap up in a second here, but there's just one more question in the chat. Um, ST is curious about how many tokens do you give, and I guess maybe yeah, I guess like yeah, how do you map the token usage to the pricing? I guess maybe.
yeah, that's a great question. So with most of these platforms, the way the pricing work is by tokens, which you could kind of think of as words. It's not exactly a correlation to words, but like it's like the amount of words you're inputting and the amount of words you're outputting essentially. And so like for example that one model that we were working with, it's like $1 per million tokens input and $2 per million tokens output. Like we have a pricing page. So basically when you sign up, you get $50 in credits. And so you could kind of think of that as like 50 million. I guess if my math is right, that's like 50 million tokens between
Okay.
input and output, like total. Um, so if you think about like, when you're building something like this, like you're not sending that much text in, you're sending like maybe a few hundred words at a time, and you're getting back like a
Yeah.
few hundred words at a time or something like that. So it should last you a
Yeah.
little while. Like and I think we're priced pretty similarly to all the other platforms, all the other
Okay.
options out there. So hopefully 50
Yeah.
50 bucks will get you a little while to like try things out and just play around with things. So
Okay, well, ST said, "Oh, nice. I like you guys." So, well, I guess we can. I
awesome,
I guess
awesome.
we can wrap it up there. Sam, this was awesome hanging. I know I was like stuck in the matrix a little too long there, fixing a
No,
couple
this was
things,
great. This
but
was super super interesting. Can't I'll definitely like look at the code more later and stuff. Like I thought it was a lot of fun and appreciate you
yeah,
being the guinea pig of testing out the TypeScript SDK and all of that. And so yeah,
yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna drop links where people can give you a follow again, and definitely check out Writer. And like Sam said, if you sign up, you get $50 of credit for tokens and stuff. So encourage you to try it out. I'm gonna clean up the Pokemon app just a little bit once I finish my workday. I'll put that up on GitHub if anybody else wants to just play around with it. And yeah, with that, thanks again, Sam. Thanks everybody in the chat. Great questions today. Um, Tomorrow I'm hanging with Tom from the Vapor team. It's a Swift web framework. So check that out. Or Tim, sorry, not Tom. I dropped a link to the schedule, but maybe we'll see you tomorrow. If not, we'll see you in the next one. And Sam, if you don't mind, just staying on for one sec. Everybody else, thanks again so much.
Thanks, everybody.